Omni-Man versus Silver Surfer, who wins? The night sky sparkles like a tapestry woven from billions of stars, stretching endlessly over the planet Zythera, a distant world on the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy. The air vibrates with hot winds, carrying red dust from the vast deserts. On top of an extinct volcano, a silvery figure stands silently, his white eyes shining like two icy flames scanning the space. He is the Silver Surfer, the messenger of the universe, who has surfed through intergalactic energy storms. The Silver Surfer, also known as Norrin Radd, is not human. He is an entity empowered by the power cosmic, the boundless energy source of Galactus, the devourer of planets. His body glitters like metal forged from starlight, moving on a cosmic surfboard, which is not only a means of transportation, but also a symbol of freedom and power. Tonight, he had come to Zythera not in search of a world to save or destroy, but to face a new challenge. Another being, a warrior from a far corner of the universe, had arrived here. He was Omni-Man, the hero of Earth, but also a ruthless warrior of the Viltrum Empire. In the sky, a streak of crimson light tore through the night, accompanied by the deafening roar of the air being pushed. Omni-Man landed, his feet firmly on the ground, creating a long crack in the volcanic rock. He stood straight, his red and white armor gleaming under the light of the two moons of Zythera. His eyes were cold and unwavering, as if the entire universe was just an arena for him to prove his strength. "Who are you?" Omni-Man's voice rang out, deep and authoritative, as if he were commanding the space itself to respond. Silver Surfer did not answer immediately. He hovered on the board, his silver hair fluttering in the invisible cosmic wind. "I am Norrin Radd, the herald of Galactus, the one who glides across the stars. Who are you who dares to set foot on this land and challenge me?" His voice was smooth but cold, like the echo of a dying star. The air between the two entities began to vibrate, as if the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for the moment the two forces would collide. Omni-Man was not one to mince words. He had come to Zythera because of a rumor that had spread across the planets. A silver entity was roaming the planets, with the power to destroy entire galaxies. As a warrior of Viltrum, he could not let any threat go unchecked. The Viltrum Empire had tasked him with expanding his territory, and any entity powerful enough to stand against him had to be subdued or destroyed. He stepped forward, the ground shaking with every step. "Who do you think you are, standing before me?" Omni-Man roared, his hands clenching into fists. "I have destroyed entire planets, crushed those who called themselves gods. You are nothing more than a glittering surfer, nothing more than a cosmic clown." The Silver Surfer was unfazed. He had faced stronger, more ruthless beings. He had stood before Thor, the Asgardian god of thunder, the Hulk, the all-powerful destroyer, and even Thanos, the madman bent on cosmic domination. The board beneath his feet vibrated, emitting a silvery light, as if in tune with the pulse of the power cosmic within his body. "You speak of power, but do you understand what true power is?" Silver Surfer replied, his voice ringing like a bell in the endless space. "I have swum through the cores of stars, manipulated time and space, and witnessed the collapse of galaxies. You are but a warrior, and I am the embodiment of the universe." Without waiting any longer, Omni-Man charged. He was faster than sound, faster than light in that moment, his fist swinging with enough force to smash a mountain. But Silver Surfer was no longer there. His board glided, leaving an endless silver trail, winding through space like a snake of light. He appeared behind Omni-Man, raised his hand, and a beam of power cosmic energy shot out, shining like a small sun. The beam hit Omni-Man, sending him flying backwards, crashing through a mountain, shattering the rock into thousands of pieces. But Omni-Man was unharmed. He stood up, dusted off his armor, and gave a cold smile. "Not bad," he said, "but you'll need more than that to take me down." The battle erupted. Zythera became the arena of two beings beyond the limits of any living thing. The Silver Surfer glided through the air, his board cutting through space, leaving behind trails of light that shimmered like miniature galaxies. He raised his hand, and the space around Omni-Man began to distort. Time seemed to slow down, the air thickening as if compressed by an invisible force. He was manipulating the very fabric of reality, trying to trap Omni-Man in a space cage. But Omni-Man was not to be trifled with. He roared, power exploding from his body, shattering the space cage like a sheet of glass. He lunged forward, punching the Silver Surfer straight in the face, but this time, his punch only met a shadow. The Silver Surfer had teleported, appearing in the distance, atop another mountain. "You are strong, but you lack subtlety," the Silver Surfer said, his voice still calm. He swung his arm, and a glowing ball of energy formed, growing like a newborn star. The ball flew forward, exploding with enough force to obliterate a planet. Zythera shook, mountains crumbled, oceans evaporated, and the sky was dyed red by the light of the explosion. When the dust cleared, Omni-Man was still standing, his armor shining brighter than ever, though a few cracks had appeared. "You think an explosion can take me down?" He roared, charging it faster than light speeds, punching the Silver Surfer repeatedly. The Silver Surfer did not dodge. He raised his hand, creating an energy shield, blocking Omni-Man's punches. Each impact sent shockwaves, shaking the space around him. The battle continued, but now it was not just a battle of strength, but of will. Silver Surfer, with the power of the power cosmic, created energy storms, small black holes, and explosions enough to wipe out an entire solar system. Omni-Man, with the strength and resilience of a Viltrum warrior, kept moving forward, despite all the damage. Finally, on a piece of Zythera, the two entities stood face to face. Silver Surfer, shining silver, still hovering on the board. Omni-Man, his armor torn, but still standing upright, breathing heavily but his eyes unyielding. Zythera was now nothing more than a pile of rubble floating in space, the fragments of the planet floating like forgotten islands in the cosmic ocean. The sky was dyed red with the echoes of energy explosions, and the air vibrated with the shockwaves from the battle between two entities far beyond the limits of any living thing. The Silver Surfer hovered on a silver glittering board, his body radiating a gentle yet cold light, like a frozen star watching his foe. Opposite him, Omni-Man stood firm on a large piece of stone, his red and white armor now covered in cracks, but his eyes still burning with indomitable will. The Silver Surfer raised his hand, and the space around him began to distort. Silver lines of light snaked like snakes, forming a net of energy around Omni-Man. He was using the power cosmic, a power that even the gods feared, to manipulate the very fabric of reality. "You fight with admirable tenacity." Silver Surfer's voice rang out, smooth but sharp, like the echo of a distant galaxy. "But your power is limited, and I am the embodiment of the infinite universe." Omni-Man did not reply. He roared, his muscles tensing, and charged at speeds beyond the speed of light. Each punch he struck was a supernova, shaking the space, causing the fragments of Zythera to disintegrate further. But Silver Surfer was no longer there. His board was gliding, so fast that time seemed to stop, leaving an endless silver trail. He appeared behind Omni-Man, raised his hand, and a beam of power cosmic energy shot out, shining like a small sun. The beam hit Omni-Man, sending him flying backward, piercing through dozens of planetary fragments, creating a chain of explosions that shook space. Omni-Man stopped, suspended in midair, blood dripping from the corner of his mouth, but his eyes still unyielding. "You think some light trick can defeat me?" he roared, his voice full of defiance. He charged again, but this time, he relied on more than just physical strength. He had learned to adapt in his years, fighting for Viltrum. He focused all his will, punching straight into the space distortion the Silver Surfer had created, shattering it like a fragile pane of glass. The shattered space sparkled like glass, falling into the endless void. The Silver Surfer tilted his head slightly, as if sizing up his opponent. "You are stronger than I thought," he said, his voice still calm. "But power is not just in your fists. Let me show you the truth of the universe." He swung his hand, and a giant ball of energy formed, growing larger like a newborn star. The orb glowed with a blinding light, so hot that it melted the nearby planetary debris. It flew toward Omni-Man at an inescapable speed, and upon impact, a bright explosion enveloped the entire area, painting the space in a sea of white light. When the light dissipated, Omni-Man was still standing, his armor now nearly disintegrated, but his body still standing. He was panting, but the smile on his face was a testament to the resilience of a Viltrum warrior. "You are not strong enough to defeat me," he said, his voice hoarse but proud. Silver Surfer shook his head. "You don't understand. This isn't about who's stronger. This is about what strength means." He raised his hand, and an image appeared in the air. An image of Earth. Of the people Omni-Man once called family. "What do you fight for? For Viltrum, or for the people you swore to protect?" Omni-Man was silent, his eyes wavering for the first time. He didn't answer. But his gaze took in the image of Earth, into the blurry faces of his loved ones, as if a deep part of him was awakening. The fighting had paused, but the tension in the air was as tight as a string about to snap. The shards of Zythera floated around, reflecting the light of the two shattered moons, creating a magical yet somber scene. The Silver Surfer hovered, his board emitting a soft silver glow, as if in tune with the pulse of the universe. He looked at Omni-Man, not with contempt, but with a deep curiosity. He had faced countless beings in his journey, from gods like Thor to machines of destruction like the Hulk, but Omni-Man was something else. He was a combination of ruthless strength and a conflicted heart. "You are not like any I have faced," the Silver Surfer said, his voice echoing like waves crashing against the rocks of an invisible ocean. "You have the strength of a warrior, but I see a soul struggling within you." Omni-Man clenched his fists, blood dripping from his wounds into the weightless space. "I do not need you to analyze me," he roared. "I am Omni-Man, a warrior of Viltrum. I fight for my empire, for the survival of my species. How can you, a homeless wanderer, understand that?" The Silver Surfer did not respond immediately. He glided closer, his board moving as smoothly as a leaf on water. "I had a home," he said, his voice low, as if recounting a painful memory. "I had a planet, a family, a life. I sacrificed everything to save them, to become the herald of Galactus. I understand loss, and I understand responsibility. But you, do you fight for an empire or for yourself?" Silver Surfer's words were like a sharp knife, cutting into Omni-Man's mind. He remembered Earth, remembered his days among humans, playing the role of a hero, a father, a husband. But he also remembered the mission of Viltrum, remembered the harsh orders that forced him to conquer, to destroy. The conflict within him flared up like a flame, and he roared, charging at Silver Surfer with all his remaining strength. This time, Silver Surfer did not dodge. He raised his hand, creating a shimmering energy shield, blocking Omni-Man's punch. Each impact created shockwaves, shaking the surrounding debris, causing them to crumble into cosmic dust. "You cannot defeat me with anger," Silver Surfer said, his voice calm but firm. "Listen to the call of the universe. Find your true reason." Omni-Man did not stop. He punched again and again, each punch harder, each punch faster, as if trying to shatter not only the Silver Surfer but also the doubts in his mind. But the Silver Surfer was more than a warrior. He was a cosmic being, a being forged by the power cosmic. He swung his arm, and a storm of energy exploded, enveloping Omni-Man in a sea of silver light. The space around him shook, time seemed to stop, and Omni-Man felt the power of the universe, the power of stars, of galaxies, of life itself. Omni-Man stood on a large piece of debris, his red and white armor now in tatters, clinging to his wounded body. Blood dripped from the lacerations, merging into the weightless space, sparkling like red gems in the dim light. Omni-Man gasped, but his eyes burned like an unquenchable fire. He looked at Silver Surfer, not with hatred, but with a mixture of pride and doubt. Silver Surfer's words still echoed in his mind, questions about his purpose, about why he fought. He was Omni-Man, a warrior of Viltrum, the one who had destroyed an entire planet. But now he felt a void inside him, a rift that no punch could fill. Silver Surfer broke the silence. "You fought with all your might," his voice rang out, smooth but authoritative, like waves crashing against the rocks of a cosmic ocean. But power is not just about muscle or will. It is about understanding, about how you choose to use it. You fight for Viltrum, but is Viltrum worth your sacrifice? Omni-Man clenched his fists, blood running through his fingers. "You have no right to judge me," he growled, his voice hoarse but still full of pride. "I am a warrior of a great empire. I do not need teachings from a star wanderer." But even as he spoke, his eyes wavered, as if the Silver Surfer's words had touched a deep part of his soul. The Silver Surfer did not reply. He glided closer, his board moving smoothly, leaving a trail of silver light like a miniature galaxy. "I do not judge you," he said, his voice low, as if sharing a cosmic secret. "I just want you to see the truth. Your power can destroy, but it can also protect. The choice is yours." He raised his hand, and an image appeared in the air. The image of Mark, Omni-Man's son, the one he once called invincible. Mark stood there, in his green and gold armor, his eyes filled with hope but also pain, as if waiting for his father to become the hero he believed he had believed. Omni-Man looked at that image, and for the first time he felt his heart sink. He remembered his days on Earth, the moments when he had been a father, a protector, but he also remembered Viltrum's cruel orders, the planets he had destroyed, the lives he had taken. He roared, not out of anger at the Silver Surfer, but out of his own conflict. "Enough," he shouted, charging at terrifying speed, his fist like a meteor crashing into the Silver Surfer. Omni-Man fought with all the might of a Viltrum warrior, each punch a supernova, ringing the air like a bell of fate. But the Silver Surfer was no ordinary opponent. He was the embodiment of the power cosmic, the power of the universe, and his every move had the beauty and precision of a moving star. The Silver Surfer glided, his board snaking through space, so fast that time seemed to stop. He raised his hand, and a storm of energy erupted, silvery beams of light swirling like a miniature galaxy, enveloping Omni-Man. He was not only attacking with physical force, but manipulating the very fabric of reality. The space around Omni-Man began to distort, time slowed, as if he were imprisoned in an invisible cage. But Omni-Man was not so easily subdued. He roared, power exploding from his body, shattering the space cage like fragile glass. Shards of space glittered like glass, falling into the void. "You cannot imprison me," Omni-Man shouted, charging forward at speeds far beyond the speed of light. He punched again and again, each punch creating explosions that shook the space. But the Silver Surfer did not dodge. He raised his hand, creating a shimmering energy shield, blocking all of Omni-Man's attacks. Each impact created shockwaves, causing the surrounding fragments to disintegrate into dust. "You are strong, but you lack refinement," the Silver Surfer said, his voice calm. He waved his hand, and a giant ball of energy formed, growing larger like a newborn star. The ball emitted a bright light, so hot that it melted the nearby fragments. Omni-Man felt the power of the universe, the power of the stars, of time and space. He collapsed, Omni-Man kneeling on a piece of Zythera, breathing heavily, his body covered in wounds. He looked up at the Silver Surfer, the silvery being hovering above him, like a god of the universe. The light from the Silver Surfer's body softened, like a lamp illuminating the endless darkness. He did not attack again. He just looked down, his bright white eyes filled with understanding and compassion. "You have lost, warrior," the Silver Surfer said, his voice soft but firm, like the echo of a dying star. "Not because you are weak, but because you have not found the true reason to fight. The power of the power cosmic is not only the power of destruction, but the power of creation, of protection. You can choose your path." Omni-Man did not answer. He bowed his head, blood dripping from his wounds, blending into the air like red stars. He remembered Earth, he remembered Mark, he remembered the days when he thought he could be a good man. But he also remembered Viltrum, the cruel orders, the planets he had destroyed. The conflict within him was like a storm, but for the first time, he felt a ray of light through the darkness. He was no longer sure if he could continue to be a warrior of Viltrum. Omni-Man sat there, among the debris of Zythera, looking up at the sky where the Silver Surfer had disappeared. He had lost, but not because he lacked strength, but because he had fought for the wrong reasons. For the first time in years, he felt a glimmer of hope, a chance to redeem himself. He stood up, his body aching but his heart lighter. He looked out to the distance, where Earth awaited, and he promised himself that he would be the father, the hero, that Mark had always believed in.